muffled sounds. Okay. So the next thing is regarding the another case. Okay, here the animal is reported with epistaxis. Either it may be a unilateral or bilateral epistaxis is there. So in such a cases, how to proceed these cases? For example, when you have a unilateral epistaxis, you will be differentiating from any injury. Just to rule out any injury in the nasal tract or any other head injury. Just you will be thinking, asking the history, and you have to palpate the nasal plane and the ethmoid area and all, and you rule out any fracture and all. So if you are having bilateral frothy nasal discharge, I mean with the bleeding, epistaxis is there, you think about snake envenomation. So immediately you have to go for 20 minutes whole blood clotting time. 20 minutes whole blood clotting time. See, it is a case of snake envenomation having profused bleeding from both the nostrils. Another one is there, that is called caudal vena cava syndrome. So in that, the animal which are fed with more quantity of the concentrate and the sequelae of the acidosis that leads to formation of the hepatic abscess, that leads to caudal vena cava thrombosis. That will be onset, will be sudden. It won't be like this. Suddenly the animal will be having profuse bleeding from the nostrils, and immediately to lie down and the death will be there. That is caudal vena cava thrombosis. So whenever you are getting epistaxis, bilateral or unilateral, you go for 20 minutes whole blood clotting time. See, you collect 1 or 2 ml of blood from the jugular vein in a syringe, 1 ml, 5 ml syringe, just 1 ml or 2 ml of blood, and keep it undisturbed for 20 minutes. Don't see it immediately. So collect 1 or 2 ml of blood without any anticoagulant. If you are having glass bottle without anticoagulant, this is well and good. If you are not having anything, you just take 1 ml of blood in a 5 ml syringe and keep it in a slanting position for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, you tilt like this and see. See, it is not clotted. If it is not clotted, it is a clear case of viper envenomation, snake envenomation, viper bite, because viper is a hemotoxic. Cobra and kite is a neurotoxic. So if it is having a viper envenomation, viper bite, the blood won't clot for even after 20 minutes. So you can proceed for the treatment. Okay, this is called 20 minutes whole blood clotting time. So I have seen some of the practitioners, after collecting the blood and keeping it for slanting, in the 10 minutes itself they will take and they will shake it like that. You should not do it like that. After 20 minutes you take it and gently tilt it, and you can see whether it is clotted or not. If it is not clotted, you go for treatment with the snake venom antiserum. It is available as a 10 ml vial, to like a liquid form is there. Another one is the powder form. Powder form with the reconstitute with distilled water, with the water is there. You can reconstitute and you can mix it with the normal saline. Snake venom antiserum, you can give 2 vials. You can give 2 vials in one normal saline and give IV. Okay. So you should not give directly. The snake venom antiserum should not be given direct IV. You have to mix it with the normal saline and give IV. Okay. So how to repeat it? You repeat it at the 8 to 12 hours interval. 8 hours interval, you reevaluate the clotting time. If it is not clotted, repeat the treatment. Again go for 1 vial. And like that till it clots, you can go for the treatment with the snake envenomation. Okay. See here, the other accessory treatments include administration of antibiotics and fluid therapy can be managed well for the snake envenomation. And regarding the cobra and kite, this whole blood clotting time does not play a role for neurotoxicity. So there, according to the swelling is obvious. According to the swelling, the treatment schedule will be repeated. So the swelling is reduced and will become normal. You can stop the administration of the snake venom antiserum. Some cases you will be getting epistaxis like this. Sometimes you may be getting a mild discharge from the blood tincture discharge from the nostrils, not profused, and it will go for 1 or 2 days. It will be normal. Sometimes again the discharge will be coming. Again it will be coming. So it will be like that for few months. So the owner will be telling it is since for 1 month, 2 months, like that. The history will be saying. Any other clinical signs can you able to appreciate in this animal apart from this epistaxis? Can you able to concentrate on the eyes? See, the eyeball is protruded outside. So you can correlate with the other eyes. See, the eyeball is very much protruded. So it's a clear case of ethmoid tumor. There is a progressive tumor in the ethmoid area. Here, the inside the nostrils in the ethmoid area, there is a progressive tumor is there that leads to the protrusion of the eyeball, and constant mild bleeding will be there from the nostrils. Okay. See, the protrusion of the eyeball, exophthalmos is very much obvious in this case. So ophthalmos will be, exophthalmos will be there, blood tinged fluid will be coming, the discharge will be coming. So when you see the nasal patency, the nasal flow won't be there. All these signs are suggestive of ethmoid tumor. So the other differential diagnosis includes schistosomiasis. In schistosomiasis, there won't be any protrusion of the eyeball. Nasal granuloma, there won't be any protrusion of eyeball. All these things you have to keep it in mind and you go for the differential diagnosis. See here, the protrusion of the eyeball is obvious. So this is a nasal patency. This is how, by keeping a small thin piece of cotton with forceps, first you can keep it in front of the nostril and you can see the patency, nasal flow, whether the air respiration pattern is coming or not. If there is any complete obstruction, you cannot able to, the nasal patterns will be completely absent. The airflow will be completely absent in case of ethmoid tumor or any other lesions present. In some cases, the protrusion of the conjunctiva will be there. There won't be any protrusion of the eyeball, but the eyelid swelling will be there. With the perineal swelling will be there. That is due to angioedema. That due to any other allergy condition. Any allergy conditions means it will be bilateral in nose. Bilateral swelling of the eyelids and the swelling of the perineum will be there. That you have to differentiate clinically. See here, the eyelid is swelling. The eyelid is swollen. Both eyelids are swollen. This is due to angioedema, allergy condition. In this such a cases, just to give antihistamine, that will become normal. So this is angioedema, swelling of the vulval lips and the perineum. Sometimes it may occur in angioedema by feeding some unwanted, weeds. Sometimes it may be getting in mimosa pudica, mimosa indica, mimosin toxicity also. There will be edema like this in the vulval region.